The world screams for your attention, a cacophony of demands, judgments, and fleeting truths. It insists you react, conform, and be swept away by its relentless currents. But what if the greatest power you possess lies not in your ability to engage with this external storm, but in your capacity to remain utterly untouched by it? Carl Jung, the profound explorer of the human psyche, unveiled a dangerous truth. The world, in its collective unconscious, often conspires to keep you from this very power. He understood that the true battleground is not out there, but within, a silent war for the sovereignty of your inner landscape. This is not about denial or apathy. It is about a radical act of self-possession, a mental strategy so potent it can redefine your reality. Today we will uncover this strategy, revealing how to cultivate an unshakable inner core, a sanctuary where peace reigns supreme, regardless of the chaos outside. Prepare to reclaim the most vital territory you own, your mind. Please subscribe, let continuous. Consider the pervasive anxiety of our age, the constant feeling of being adrift, buffeted by external opinions, social pressures, and the relentless pursuit of external validation. We see it in the individual who allows a single critical comment to dismantle their self-worth, or the leader whose decisions are swayed by the loudest voices rather than their deepest convictions. This isn't merely a lack of resilience, it's a profound disconnection from the inner authority Jung called the self. When we are unanchored, our ego, susceptible to every external tremor, becomes a fragile vessel. We mistake the fleeting opinions of the collective for our own truth, allowing the projections of others to define our reality. The superficial understanding of self, built on external approval, inevitably leads to a life of reaction rather than creation, a constant state of seeking equilibrium from forces outside our control. This is the suffering born from surrendering our inner domain to the whims of the world, a suffering Jung dedicated his life to alleviating through the path of individuation. Jung's profound insights into the human psyche offer the foundational validation for this mental strategy. He taught us that beneath the ego, the conscious I that interacts with the external world, lies a vast, often untapped reservoir of wisdom, the unconscious. Within this unconscious resides the self, the archetypal center of the personality, the totality of conscious and unconscious. Unlike the ego, which is easily swayed by external stimuli, the self is a stable, unifying force, a compass pointing towards wholeness. This concept differentiates sharply from mere stoicism, which often emphasizes suppression of emotion. Jung's approach is not about ignoring what arises, but about integrating it, understanding its origins, and allowing the self to guide our response. He observed that true psychological health emerges when the ego enters into a dialogue with the self, rather than being solely dictated by external circumstances or the collective unconscious. This inner alignment, this individuation, is the mechanism by which we cultivate an unshakable inner peace. The consequences of neglecting this inner sovereignty are far more insidious than mere discomfort. Jung warned of the dangers of inflation, where the ego becomes overwhelmed by identification with archetypal forces or collective ideals, losing its connection to personal reality and inner truth. When we allow external validation to dictate our worth, we become vulnerable to the collective shadow, the unacknowledged, repressed aspects of society that can manifest as mass hysteria, uncritical conformity, or the projection of our own inner demons onto others. The cost is profound, a life lived in perpetual reaction, a constant striving for an external approval that can never truly satisfy the self. We risk becoming mere reflections of what others expect, losing our unique essence, our authentic voice, and our capacity for genuine self-realization. This surrender to external pressures not only diminishes the individual, but also impoverishes the collective, as the world loses the unique contribution of an individuated soul. This surrender to external forces manifests in various patterns, each a subtle erosion of our inner fortress. We see the puer aeternus, or puella aeterna, the eternal youth, perpetually seeking external novelty and avoiding the responsibility of inner development, forever dependent on the approval of others. There's the persona, the social mask we wear, which, when over-identified with, can become a prison, suffocating our authentic self beneath layers of expectation, or the individual caught in the collective unconscious, unconsciously acting out archetypal patterns without conscious awareness, becoming a puppet of unseen forces. Jung's work reveals that these aren't merely personality quirks, but profound psychological states where the ego has failed to establish a healthy relationship with the self, allowing external influences, be they societal norms, parental expectations, or the latest trends, to dictate its direction. Recognizing these nuances is crucial, for only by understanding the specific ways we cede our power can we begin the work of reclaiming it. If these insights resonate with you, consider subscribing for more profound explorations into the human psyche, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective enriches our collective journey. The specific dangers of failing to cultivate this inner sovereignty are manifold and deeply impactful. Loss of authentic self. You become a reflection of external expectations, losing touch with your unique essence and purpose. Chronic anxiety and dissatisfaction, a perpetual state of unease, arises from seeking validation in an ever-changing external world. Vulnerability to collective hysteria. Without an inner anchor, you are easily swept away by mass opinions, fears, or ideologies, losing critical discernment. Projection of shadow. Unacknowledged personal flaws are projected onto others or society, leading to conflict and misunderstanding. Stagnation of individuation. The vital process of becoming whole and unique is halted, preventing psychological maturity and fulfillment. Erosion of decision-making. Choices are based on external pressures or fear of judgment rather than inner wisdom and conviction. Emotional reactivity. You become a slave to your immediate emotional responses, unable to observe and choose your reactions. The path to reclaiming this inner sovereignty, this unshakable peace, is what Jung termed individuation, the process by which an individual becomes a psychological individual, a separate, indivisible unity or whole. It is a systematic approach, not a quick fix, demanding courage and introspection. This journey involves a conscious engagement with the unconscious, a dialogue between the ego and the self. Here are the phases and practices. Phase 1, confronting the persona. Begin by recognizing the masks you wear, the roles you play for the world. Ask, who am I when no one is watching? What expectations am I fulfilling that are not truly my own? This involves honest self-observation and a willingness to shed societal conditioning. Phase 2, integrating the shadow. This is perhaps the most challenging yet crucial step. The shadow comprises the repressed, unacknowledged aspects of your personality, both negative and potentially positive. Through dream analysis, active imagination, and honest self-reflection, bring these hidden parts into conscious awareness. Recognize your capacity for anger, envy, but also for power and creativity. Integrating the shadow means owning these aspects, not eliminating them, so they no longer control you from the unconscious. Phase 3. Encountering the anima/animus. For men, the anima is the unconscious feminine aspect. For women, the animus is the unconscious masculine. This phase involves understanding how these archetypal images influence your relationships, emotions, and perceptions, particularly of the opposite sex. By making these projections conscious, you reclaim vital aspects of your own psyche. Phase 4. Realizing the self. As the ego engages with the unconscious contents, a new center of personality begins to emerge, the self. This is not the ego's creation, but its discovery. Practices like journaling, meditation, and symbolic work, for example, mandalas, can facilitate this connection, allowing the self to guide you towards wholeness and inner authority. This process cultivates a profound inner stillness, a wise indifference that protects your core from external turbulence. History is replete with examples illustrating the profound impact of this mental strategy, or the tragic consequences of its neglect. Consider the stark contrast between a figure like Mahatma Gandhi and the tyrants of his era. Gandhi, despite facing immense external pressure, violence, and global scrutiny, maintained an extraordinary inner composure. His power lay not in external force, but in an unshakable inner conviction, a profound alignment with his self that allowed him to act with serene determination, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. He embodied the wise indifference, not apathy, but a deep inner knowing that his truth was not dependent on external validation or the world's approval. His actions flowed from an integrated self, making him an immovable force. Conversely, we see countless examples of individuals, even those in positions of power, who crumble under external criticism or succumb to the collective unconscious. Think of leaders who, desperate for public approval, abandon their principles, or artists who sacrifice their unique vision to chase fleeting trends. Their internal compass, tethered to external applause, leads them astray, resulting in a life of fragmented purpose and eventual disillusionment. Jung himself, in his own journey, faced immense intellectual isolation and misunderstanding, particularly after his break with Freud. Yet he steadfastly pursued his inner vision, trusting the promptings of his unconscious and the guidance of his self, rather than bending to the prevailing academic currents. His resilience in the face of intellectual ostracism is a testament to the power of this mental strategy. While the journey of individuation is deeply personal, Jung understood that we are not isolated islands. The environment and the quality of our connections play a crucial, often underestimated role in sustaining this inner sovereignty. Our relationships can either reinforce the ego's external dependencies or serve as mirrors reflecting our deeper self. A supportive environment, one that encourages authentic expression and critical self-reflection, acts as a crucible for growth. Conversely, toxic relationships or environments that demand conformity and suppress individuality can severely impede the process, constantly pulling us back into the collective unconscious. If these insights resonate with you, consider subscribing for more profound explorations into the human psyche and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective enriches our collective journey. To cultivate this supportive ecosystem, consider this protocol. Seek reflective mirrors. Surround yourself with individuals who are also committed to their inner work, who can offer honest, compassionate feedback without judgment. These are the connections that help you see your own projections and integrate your shadow. Establish boundaries. Learn to discern between constructive feedback and mere external noise or projections. Protect your inner space by setting clear boundaries with those who seek to impose their will or opinions upon you. This is not rejection, but self-preservation. Engage in meaningful dialogue. Participate in communities or discussions that explore deeper psychological or spiritual truths, rather than superficial exchanges. This fosters a sense of belonging while stimulating individual growth. Cultivate solitude. Paradoxically, healthy connections are built upon a strong sense of self, which often requires periods of solitude for introspection and connection with the self. This allows you to return to relationships from a place of inner fullness rather than neediness. As you commit to this path of individuation, the transformation is not merely an absence of external disturbance, but a profound reorientation of your entire being. It unfolds in distinct yet fluid stages, each bringing a deeper sense of wholeness and purpose. Stage 1, the awakening of awareness. You begin to notice the subtle ways external forces have dictated your reactions and beliefs. This is the initial spark of consciousness, the recognition that there is an inner world to be explored and governed. Stage 2, the integration of opposites. Through confronting the persona, shadow, anima/animus, you begin to reconcile the seemingly contradictory aspects of your personality. The tension between light and dark, masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious, starts to resolve into a more unified self. Stage 3, the emergence of the self. The ego, no longer solely identified with its external roles, begins to serve the larger purpose of the self. You experience a deeper sense of meaning, an inner compass that guides your decisions with clarity and conviction. Stage 4, living from wholeness. Your actions become authentic expressions of your integrated self. You move through the world with a quiet authority, unperturbed by external storms, because your center holds. This is the wise indifference in action, not a lack of care, but a profound trust in your inner guidance. This transformation is the ultimate gift, not just for yourself, but for the world. An individuated person, rooted in their own truth, contributes a unique and stable presence to the collective, becoming a beacon of authenticity and a source of genuine wisdom, rather than another voice in the clamor. The journey towards inner sovereignty, while transformative, is not without its pitfalls. Jung warned that the unconscious is a vast and powerful realm, and the ego's integration of its contents is an ongoing process, not a destination. One common trap is inflation, where the ego, having gained some insight or power, over-identifies with the self, believing itself to be the self. This can lead to grandiosity, a sense of invulnerability, or a detachment from ordinary human experience. Another is regression, where faced with new challenges, the individual retreats to old, familiar patterns of external dependency or unconscious behavior. The allure of the collective, with its comforting anonymity and shared illusions, can also be a powerful seduction away from the demanding path of individuation. To ensure the sustainability of this inner fortress, continuous maintenance is essential. Ongoing self-reflection, regularly engage in practices like dream analysis, active imagination, and journaling to maintain a conscious dialogue with your unconscious. The self speaks in symbols, and understanding its language is key. Humility and grounding. Remember that the ego, is a servant of the self, not its master. Stay grounded in your human limitations and responsibilities, avoiding spiritual bypassing or intellectual arrogance. Embrace the paradox. Life is full of contradictions. Learn to hold opposing truths without needing to resolve them immediately. This capacity for paradox is a hallmark of an integrated psyche. Re-engagement with the world. True individuation does not lead to isolation, but to a more conscious and authentic engagement with the world. Apply your inner wisdom to your relationships, work, and community, allowing your integrated self to contribute meaningfully. We began by acknowledging the world's relentless clamor, its subtle attempts to pull you from your center. Now you understand that the true power lies not in silencing the external noise, but in cultivating an unshakable stillness within. Carl Jung revealed that this is not merely a coping mechanism, but the very essence of psychological wholeness, the process of individuation. Your capacity to observe, to discern, and to choose your response, rather than react impulsively, is not a weakness. It is the most advanced characteristic of a truly developed consciousness. This wise indifference is not apathy, but a profound act of self-mastery, transforming the external problem into an internal opportunity for unparalleled growth and freedom. The world may not want you to know this strategy, for an individuated soul is not easily controlled. But now the knowledge is yours. Share your journey. What aspects of your inner world have you allowed the external world to dictate? Share your reflections in the comments below and join a community committed to this vital inner work. Deepen your understanding. If this journey resonates, subscribe to our channel for more insights into Jungian psychology and the path to self-realization. Explore further. For a deeper dive into the concepts of the shadow and persona, watch our video on Unmasking the Self, Jung's Archetypes of Identity, linked here. Embrace this profound truth. The ultimate authority resides within you. Cultivate it, protect it, and let your unshakable inner peace be your most powerful statement to the world.